Okay, so I've got a HP Mini 1000 with JoliCloud installed on that. So just your standard HP Mini 1000. Let's go ahead and open it up. And boot it up. See, actually the boot time is pretty good. So there we go, the JoliCloud loading screen. Okay, looks like got the boot up tone there. So it looks like they fixed one problem with the HP, which was when you fixed the issue of having no sound, which required a little bit of work at the command prompt. Every time you booted up, sound was turned off, but it looks like they fixed that and sound is turned on now by default. So let's go ahead and we'll adjust the camera there a little bit so you see a little bit better. So put in our login credentials and password. Okay, so we're logging in. Again, I mean, pretty quick. Find that to be a lot faster than even the most well-tuned Windows machine. Just basically a few seconds to get to the login screen, then a few more seconds once you've logged in to boot up. So you come to the default page. So this is the favorites section, but actually wanted to log into JoliCloud, and then go actually to the dashboard that they have. It has some of the social features, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so there it is. Push that back a little bit. Okay, so interesting that I'm not following too many people, only following 2 people over here. But what they have is you'll see that everybody that you're following, you can see the applications that they install. So here's Tariq Krim, who obviously the creator of JoliCloud, showing all the applications that he has recently installed. So let's go down and click on one here called .open. So you click on that and it'll tell you what the application is. Here, .open, communications platform for organizations, research, and everything else. So all we do is we go over here. If we want to install that, just click install. So it'll go down and install, ask you for your password. Let's put that in. Okay, so that's installing over here. Sometimes, depending on the application, it can take a few seconds to a minute or so. We'll let this go ahead and do its thing. Okay, so now we're all installed. So we've got .open installed. Other things on the dashboard to look at, you can also go over here and check out or check for new updates to the operating system. Again, this being Alpha software, I've been seeing that several times a week they are releasing updates and enhancements to the system. Other thing too, here's your main applications tab. Let's go back, and this gives you all of the different categories for the different applications. So we have accessories. So in accessories we've got Wine, which is a Windows emulator, Dropbox, and Fizzy. For development, you can go in here and Google Chrome, Genie and Bespin, education, even games, internet apps, Office, sound, and video. So let's go back to the dashboard. And then here we go. So here are all the the categories of apps. So one of the interesting things, we talked about both sort of the web-based cloud apps versus client apps. So here's an example of that. We have both an icon here for Google Docs. So when we open Google Docs, really all we're doing is through a Prism package, we're pulling in Google Docs, and the Prism app actually saves your Gmail login info. So here I'm already logged in as myself. The app has saved that, and I can I have access to both a file that I already created last week, or I can go ahead and start a new file. Now you can tab, actually you have tabs here for the different apps. They are actually up here at the top versus Windows being down at the bottom. Let's go back to the home page and go back. We're here on the Offices area. So we talked about both having the web-based kind of cloud apps like a Google Docs, but you can also have a client app. Like here is OpenOffice, their word processor application. So I can go ahead and open that. So if maybe I don't have internet access, I can still do word processing using OpenOffice. So this is actually running on the system itself. So there we go. And again, with tabbing, I can tab between Google Docs, and I can go back to OpenOffice Word Processor. So pretty cool there. Now the other thing too, just like because this is Ubuntu and a Linux-based operating system, if I go to accessories, I've also got the terminal. So from here I can do just about anything I want, or if I need to install anything from the command prompt of the terminal, I can do that. I can run gedit or any of the other apps to do anything I need to do, to install apps, to modify configuration files or anything like that. So all in all, I love this application, or I love this operating system. You go into my favorites. Again, we have Firefox. Go ahead and run your browser, do just about anything you want. This saved an old, actually an old session from webmail for me back at work. So using that way. You've got Facebook. You've got email through Thunderbird also in here. I did install TweetDeck. That took a little bit of work to install Adobe Air through the command prompt or through the terminal, and then to get TweetDeck running. But TweetDeck runs as well. A little bit of a different interface here, that it actually, you can't close the app, or it sort of runs and looks like in an emulation window. But certainly TweetDeck runs fine, and I find that to be a much better option for Twitter than Seismic with its browser interface. This is definitely a much better way to go. But you can tab still between here. We have just a default icon up here in the toolbar for TweetDeck, but then I can tab back through to Firefox, and if I want, I can still do my F11 and go to full screen mode in Firefox, so I can get rid of everything at the top, and I can then go back, go up here, and close that out. So let's go ahead and just quit that. Okay, so that's kind of a quick overview of some of the apps, how to install stuff. You also have access to folders at root level, so you've got your documents folder. You can browse music folder, your music folder, anything like that. That's all there, pretty good. And then just when you're ready to shut down, you got all your options here for restarting, hibernating, logging out, switching user, or just shut down. So let's see how quick that goes. So that's it. Quick overview of JoliCloud, installing a couple of apps, running a few things. Definitely loving this operating system. Can't wait to see where it goes.